project.
Today we're going to skin these 2 elk legs out to make an elk leg bag.
Over the years, there have been different rumors about Tom Oar from mountain men. Some good, some bad. The height was when Tom Oar disappeared from the Mountain Men show, and many people believed he was dead. Unknown to others, Tom's disappearance was not caused by death but by other dark secrets. In this video, discover many dark secrets about Tom Oar and the Mountain Men. Ensure you watch till the very end. Tom Oar, the Mountain Man.
Bring supplies in. I've already got 2 of these legs.
The story of Tom Oar from the Mountain Men is fascinating. Before we get to his struggles and the speculations about his disappearance, let's explore the life of this legend. Tom and his sweetheart, Nancy Oar, have lived in an isolated stretch of the Yak River Valley in northwestern Montana. The couple has made their home from the simplest means and the sparsest of luxuries. Also, they survived mainly on the land by making a living through Tom's knowledge of an all-but-forgotten craft, brain tanning. Though this craft was not treasured by many, Tom had gained mastery of it. He is a master trapper and tanner, that's not all. Tom was quite resolute and determined to withstand all seasons. He could continue his craft despite the harsh realities of the seasons and forests. He sharpened his skills and got better at it. Records proved that he could hone his talent to a level achieved by just a few before him. Watching Tom work is equivalent to taking a glimpse into the remnant of the past. Jokingly, Tom once said, "I was born 100 years too late, or maybe 200 years too late." How did Tom get to love the wild lifestyle so much? Well, you can connect it to his background. He was raised in the country outside Rockford, Illinois. Tom has always believed that he was conditioned for a rugged lifestyle. While growing up, he and his brother had a passion for the outdoors. For them, it was innate. Tom also shared more details and revealed that he and his brother spent their childhood roaming freely as often as possible. On many occasions, they were always riding. "My dad was a real horseman, and he passed that on to my brother and me," he recalls. "When my brother and I turned 7, my father taught us how to trick ride, which is doing tricks on the back of a running horse. It was dangerous, but Tom was not discouraged and forged ahead. Despite all the dangers, he survived and easily developed a taste for living on the edge. When he turned 15, he kept on exploring many things. As a young daredevil, he discovered a new outlet to sate his adrenaline fix: rodeo. My mother drove me to the edge of town, dropped me off with my bull rope and rigging bag, and I hitchhiked to Ohio and hired on to ride bulls and bucking horses." Whenever Tom talked about his mother, his eyes shone. According to Tom, his mother's confidence in him greatly helped him. Her belief in him carried him towards the warm glow of adventure on the horizon, which he chased with characteristic poise and determination. By the early 1960s, he had climbed the ranks of the International Rodeo Association and established himself as a champion rider. That's not all. Tom also thrived on the excitement of the sport and consistently made it to the finals, finishing in the top 10 times and again. Tom's life improved, and luck shone on him on Valentine's Day in 1970. That year, he was already 35 years old and found himself in the chute perched upon a massive bull called Woolly Bugger. "I usually dropped a finger in my bull rope, which meant that your hand was locked into the rope," Tom explains. "The moment the chute opened, there was a big eruption. Immediately, the skulls of man and animal collided, and Tom was knocked unconscious. Bound tightly by the roll across the middle of the bull's back, Tom's hand pinned him to the thrashing animal. So now my legs and stuff are underneath his hind legs. He is bucking and stepping on me quite hard." After the whole life-threatening episode, Tom later admits that the experience was the closest he ever came to death inside a rodeo arena. His wife watched in pain from the stands as he was tossed violently for 2 agonizing minutes until they were finally able to sever the ropes that bound him. Later, Tom left the arena on a stretcher and didn't regain consciousness for 3 hours. He had suffered a severe concussion and bruising over most of his body. Unfortunately, fate had something bleaker in store for the bull. "They told me that old Woolly Bugger passed away 2 weeks later," attests Tom, the twinkle of a cowboy in his eye. "I think I gave him a concussion, too." A month after his near-demise experience, Tom returned to the chutes. Painfully, he never regained his former success. "It was time for me to quit, so I did." Later, in 1981, he retired from rodeo. And just as the pitch and yaw of a bronc feeds the spirit of a young man yearning for thrills, the rise and fall of a mountain feeds the soul of a man longing for peace. Nancy and I would come up to Montana in the summertime and go rodeoing out here, he says. Their lives gradually experienced different challenges when Tom became attracted to the Wild West. He and the Navy packed all their possessions and loaded them into an old pickup truck. After this, they took off and changed their locations. Interestingly, the truck they used to begin their life in Montana was bought with money earned from muskrat pelts. This was a slight hint at the future that lay in store for the Oars. We had no idea what we were getting into or how I would make a living out here, but I just had a feeling that by God I can do it. I can get it done. And they did. Through old-fashioned hard work, Tom and Nancy trapped, hunted, and tanned, living off the land in every sense of the phrase. Yet the early years were fraught with challenges. The first winter that we spent here was cold, Tom says. After relocating, they were often confronted with thoughts of changing their locations. Although Tom had experience as a trapper before leaving Illinois in the 80s, he knew little about earning a living from his trade. Though he was good with the furs, converting the furs to profits proved to be a more challenging endeavor, until destiny intervened at an Indian store in Billings. We just stopped and went in, Tom says, and there it was in black and white. It told you how the Indians' brains were tanned. For Tom, that was his first encounter with the ancient method, and this was the method that set him on a new and unexpected trajectory for his life. The book cost him $3. However, it came with 16 pages that instantly elevated his craft. Also, he shared that it took just a little bit more luck to turn his tanning into a lucrative business. Black powder rendezvous, they called them. Tom says, they recreated the old fur trade days in the Rocky Mountains when all the trappers would meet in one spot. While in the mountains, he easily blended in and felt at home with the crowd of mountain men. Gradually, he discovered a niche for his handmade wares. Also, when Tom does something, he does it well. The most prestigious clothing you could wear at one of these rendezvous is brain-tanned buckskin clothing, he says. After Tom started selling his furs, patrons immediately sensed the incomparable quality of the brain-tanned hides Tom provided. After noticing this, they rushed the hides and he could sell at a remarkable rate. Gradually, Tom found his peace, and he was at peace. Together with his wife, they fought all odds and prevailed. Staying in Montana meant danger and lots of trouble. Danger lurked, isolation taunted, and the bitter chill of Montana winter bore down upon them. But they endured and prospered, and they didn't allow their problems to get to them. Those who met Tom, admirers and fellow trappers and so forth, were always greeted by a humble and kind man. He was a man who was willing to share his story, his trade, and his grin. Despite Tom's inability to stay in contact with the outside world due to a lack of internet and cell phone reception, his story was still known by all. When asked how he coped with the steady stream of visitors making the trek to his property each summer, Tom always shrugged it off and confessed that he would prefer people like him to hate him. At 76, he continues to toil endlessly on his craft and survival in the mountains. Amazing life, he surmises. I've enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm going to do it as long as I can still do it. Life kept looking beautiful and sweet for Tom until he took a bold step and decided to join the cast of Mountain Men when the show premiered in 2012. No doubt Tom's presence on the show added to the show's ratings. People loved him. Throughout the 13 seasons, Tom became one of the most iconic figures in the show. That's not all. Everyone yearned to see his face. His appearances on the show highlighted not just the daily realistic living off the land in Montana's rugged Yak River Valley, but also deeper themes of resilience, traditional craftsmanship, and family values. Gradually, viewers were drawn to Tom's unwavering determination on the show. His ability to maintain a self-sufficient lifestyle despite aging health challenges and the evolving modern world interested many people in knowing him more. That's not all. Alongside his wife Nancy and their loyal hunting dogs, Tom's journey in life symbolized the enduring spirit of American frontiersmen. People became more interested in Tom because of his craftsmanship and business. Watching a mountain man on TV was one thing, but watching a mountain man who was serious about his craft was another. Tom Oar became renowned for his exceptional handmade buckskin goods, crafted using traditional brain tanning techniques that are increasingly rare in the modern era. Also, his leatherwork, including his shirts, jackets, moccasins, and bags, earned him loyal customers and respect among other artisans. Tom may not look the part, but he was a man who loved his craft and made sure to give the best to his customers. Apart from selling his goods, Tom and Nancy also operate a trading post where they engage with locals and visitors. At the trading post, they often shared their stories, challenges, and how they got to where they are. They also gladly offered authentic frontier craftsmanship. Additionally, Tom dedicated time to teaching traditional wilderness and trapping skills to the younger generations and enthusiasts. He made sure to pass on the knowledge that could help others. His greatest desire is to see younger generations master the skill. The disappearance. After living in the Montana mountains for over 40 years, Tom Oar finally decided to leave his cabin forever. This happened in the 4th episode of Mountain Men, Season 11. During the episode, Tom started experiencing serious health challenges. Though he would have loved to continue on the show, he needed to take a break. His health issues continued for several weeks, and it affected his productivity. Tom, a former rodeo cowboy who loved strenuous activity, had no choice but to take a break. The news of his deteriorating health turned his life upside down. For Tom, taking a break from all his activities was equivalent to dying completely. However, he was not ready to go down without a fight. He and his wife, Nancy, decided to make the treacherous 80-mile trek into Libby to get the problem checked out. They wanted to get any and every solution to keep Tom going. Let's explore his health issues further. While still a cast member of Mountain Men in Season 11, Episode 4, Heart and Soul, Tom woke up suddenly from his sleep and could not catch his breath. Everyone was scared. When they saw the changes, Nancy suggested checking the problem out, and Tom agreed. She knew that the problem was serious and she was not ready to lose her husband yet. "I've never had any health problems," Tom said. "I've always been very healthy all my life." Unfortunately for him, life had other plans. Tom went for a medical checkup and underwent a series of tests. After undergoing a series of tests, cardiologists discovered that Tom's heart wasn't functioning correctly and that fluid was settling in his lungs. As a result, they put him on medication to help strengthen his heart and instructed him to wear a heart rate monitor. The monitor was meant to monitor his condition. Because Tom and Nancy's cabin was 80 miles from the nearest health clinic, the cardiologists wanted Tom to wear a defibrillator vest in case of an emergency. Tom had lived a whole life and he was glad for that. During the entire process, he said, "I'll be pushing 80 here pretty soon." He added that he was also determined to continue making the most of his life. Later, as Tom and Nancy head to town, Tom reflects on his life while he checks his bobcat traps. He said, "I mean, we're all gonna die sometime, you know? So you might as well try to enjoy what you've got left of it." After going through many near-death experiences, Tom knew that life was fleeting. The show's 4th episode ends with Tom and Nancy walking into the health clinic in Libby, Montana to get Tom's official diagnosis. The diagnosis was going to be Tom's tough moment because it would determine whether his medication was working or if he would need surgery. Later, Nancy admitted, "This heart thing, this is a whole new look at life for him." According to her, their entire routine also changed since Tom's health began to decline. As a married couple, they had to change some things for Tom's sake. Tom could no longer perform the tasks he once performed for decades. However, his wife Nancy, ever supportive, was ready to pick up the slack and help him. But she genuinely confessed that she hoped her husband's appointment would yield positive results and that they could continue living the way they have been for the past 40 years. Tom loved Nancy, and he made it known to everyone. Tom's disappearance from the show was caused by his health issues, unlike other speculations that he had passed away. After his disappearance, many people became interested in him. Media outlets were eager to hear from him. Finally, they had their chance when Tom had an interview. In the interview, he was asked about moving to Montana. Tom answered, "Nancy and I are both from northern Illinois and knew some people who moved to Troy, Montana. When Nancy and I would come out here in the summertime to the rodeo, we stayed with those people. There came a point in our lives where we figured the majority of rodeoing was over, and we wanted to move to Montana and build a log house. So we bought a chainsaw in Illinois to build a house with when we arrived. We bought an acre and a half that had a little 2-room log cabin on it, and we lived in that while we built the house. It took us 5 years to build it. We've lived here for 34 years now." That's interesting, that's not all. Tom also opened up about his experiences with rodeo. He shared, "I guess I was born 150 or 200 years too late. I always thought of the past and history. I've kind of relived it in a modern way. I've trapped a beaver in the Rocky Mountains. My rodeo career kind of put me in the past, too." For Tom, the trappers and traders were also fascinating. And from his interview, it was obvious that his time on Mountain Men was not just about money. He loved being there. During the interview, he also revealed those he considered his heroes. Joe Meek and, of course, Jim Bridger. I don't have a favorite, but those guys were a tough lot. The travel they did was remarkable. Jedediah Smith went from St. Louis to the West Coast and into Oregon and Washington to trap beavers. But maybe he was more into exploring. The West was settled by the people who created the fur trade. They were scouts for the army and showed the settlers how to get over the mountains. It's a lost past, I guess. Many people also asked him about his craft. The interviewer said, "We see you working on TV, but tell me more about your craft." Tom responded, "The stuff we do is out of the past. I tan animal brain like the Indians did 200 years ago. Brain tan buckskin is superior to any commercial things they're making nowadays. It's an entirely different thing. It's tanned with an animal brain, almost like cloth rather than leather. You can blow through it if you hold it up to your lips. That makes it comfortable to wear. Body perspiration evaporates through it and keeps you cool. It's impressive stuff to wear. The moccasins breathe so your feet don't get sweaty." Also, he was asked about his exposure to stardom. His response will surprise you. "I've got a pronghorn skin out there that I'm tanning. The show hasn't changed me so far to any great degree. I do get more orders than I ever have before. I could never keep up with all our business in the past year. It's all hand-sewn when we make a jacket or a buckskin pair of pants. We don't use a sewing machine." For many people, gaining stardom meant everything changing, but with Tom it was different. He added, "We usually go to 1 or 2 rendezvous a year, and before we go I'm working my fanny off to get buckskin tanned so that I can go to the rendezvous and make $3,000 or $4,000. But now, I'm getting paid for the show, which takes some pressure off. But still, I love to tan. Seeing what I can do with my hands is a good feeling of accomplishment." Mountain Men and its cast members.
From their spot at the top of the food chain, high up.
After watching Tom Oar talk about the Mountain Men, should we also explore the TV series? Let's go. Mountain Men is an American reality television series on the History Channel that premiered on May 31, 2012. Apart from Tom Oar, other cast members have put in their best for the show's success. One of them is Eustace Conway. Eustace resides on Turtle Island, a parcel of land in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. There, he hosts people to whom he teaches basic wilderness survival skills. In addition, Eustace earns an income by using ancient techniques to harvest firewood. Watching his scenes on the show made many people love the show more. He gained more popularity when he had to fight a lien that threatened his land. Eustace didn't give up, and he fought to maintain his ownership. His boldness and courage made many people love him. His friend, Preston Roberts, also frequently appeared on the show. That's not all. Marty Maiorotto is also another cast member on the show. He resides in the small Alaskan town of Two Rivers with his wife, Dominique, and daughter, Noah. Once a month, Marty flies his Piper Super Cub aircraft with Tundra tires to his cabin on the Dranjik River in the Alaska North Slope. While there, he often used a snowmobile to tend to his animal traps, which he used to collect furs. Another interesting personality on the TV series is Rich Lewis. Rich is a mountain hunter who lives in Montana's Ruby Valley with his wife, Diane. He loves mountain lions and pursues his passion for tracking them and mountain men with the help of a team of hounds. Also, he said he was getting too old to do this during Season 6. Rich didn't return for Season 7, but many people remembered his role. George Michaud, a fur trapper, was also among the cast. He camps along the Snake River and Teton Range in Idaho. And then we have Charlie Tucker, a fellow fur trapper. Charlie, on the other hand, resides near the Great North Woods in Ashland, Maine. He often partners with Jim Dumont. Kyle Bell was also part of the team. He was a game hunter and outfitter by trade. Bell runs his hunts over 45,000 acres of rugged landscape and resides in New Mexico's Cimarron Valley with his 10-year-old son, Ben. Other cast members include Morgan Beasley. Morgan lives in the Alaska Range with his partner Margaret Stern, both of whom are licensed bush pilots. Jason Hawk also lived with his family near the Ozarks in Arkansas. His skill and reputation as a master blacksmith and owner of Jason Hawk's Outlaw Forge Works were invaluable on the show. Preston Roberts also appeared on the show. Unfortunately, Preston passed away before the end of the show. He passed from complications due to cancer at age 60 on July 24, 2017. After his demise, his son Joseph Roberts took his father's place and made several appearances in many episodes in the seasons. The loss was a painful one, but the show had to continue. Jake Herrick, a mountain lion hunter, also resides in Montana's Tobacco Root Mountains. That's not all. Do you remember Mike Horseman? He was also a part of the show. Mike, a bear hunting guide, displayed his talents on the show. He also resides on Kodiak Island in Alaska with his dog, Adele. Josh Kirk was brought on board too. He was a ranch manager and game hunter. Josh resides in Wyoming's Wind River Range with his wife Bonnie and their daughter Eden. Lastly, we have the Uren brothers, Kit and Harry. They both professionally served as cattle ranchers and game hunters in Idaho's Sawtooth Wilderness. Let's explore the episodes. In the TV series season premiere, the show started big in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. For more than 30 years, Eustace Conway has lived in the mountains. There, he sells firewood for income and survives off the land's resources. That's not all. Eustace also has a small crew of workers helping him on his 1,000-acre property, including Justin McGuire, a tough city boy, Chloe, a college student, and Jesse, who struggles to adjust to outdoor living. In the episode, Tom's home was revealed. He was seen living in the Yak River Valley of northwest Montana with his wife Nancy and their German short-haired pointer Ellie. Their neighbor Will is a close friend of Tom's from his days as a bronco rider. Tom and Will are often seen hunting for deer, but cannot get one. Marty Maiorato is also captured in the episode. He is seen living in the small Alaskan town of Two Rivers with his wife Dominique and young daughter Noah. Marty flies his small bush plane to his small, isolated log cabin 200 miles from home to run his trap line every month. The furs bring in a small income to help his family throughout the year. By season 2, Eustace was already facing lots of problems. One of his workers, Justin McGuire, continues to let him down. This affected him for a while, and Eustace receives a letter that his land will be taken away in weeks for failing to pay taxes. Also in Montana, Tom Oar was seen struggling to find meat. His neighbor Tim approached him and asked him for help removing a couple of beavers from his drinking water. Immediately, Tom swung into action, and he was able to trap 2 beavers, providing him with some meat for the winter. Also in the Alaskan wilderness, Marty has arrived at his cabin and is preparing for the trapping season. After collecting water, Marty heads out to check his trap, but finds it mostly empty. During that process, his snow machine breaks down, forcing him to continue the rest of the journey on foot. In Season 3, Tom Oar's challenges continued. He constantly struggles to provide meat and furs for the winter. Tom's neighbor Tim takes him on a duck hunt down the Kootenai River. In North Carolina, Eustace is also seen struggling to cope with his problems. He still had to deal with the lien on his 1,000-acre property. And after weeks of underperforming and clashing with everyone at Turtle Island, Eustace had no choice but to fire Justin. Later in Alaska, Marty replaces the malfunctioning engine in his snow machine but snaps his steering column and has to return to the cabin to repair it. In Season 4 of the TV series, Marty barely beats a storm flying home to his wife and young daughter Noah to see her ballet recital. Also, Tom Oar's daughter Keely wants Tom and his wife Nancy to come to Florida and retire. In Idaho, Tom's brother Jack invites him to visit his horse ranch. They drove off a mountain lion and went hunting. That season, Eustace was seen coming down with a cold. He treated himself with tea made from yellow root and sweated in his makeshift sweat lodge. Later, he got better and helped Preston deliver firewood to raise cash to pay off the lien on his property. When the show reached Season 5, Tom Oar put his work on hold while trying to find winter meat and protect himself from looming predators. After this, he brought in a former Turtle Island worker to pick up the slack and protect Turtle Island's most valuable resource. Marty Maiorato battles time and Mother Nature as he races to make his fur deadline. The show continued and kept on gaining more and more recognition. What do you think about Tom Oar's disappearance? After watching this, what are your thoughts on the Mountain Men? Which part got you interested the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos displayed on your screen.